Yeah, there. I didn't know you were there. I was still busy getting ready for you. Good afternoon. How you doing, family and friends? Grow Mambo Antila Novayana Dazo. Gloria Rilu. Chief Ia Abie Ogun. I'm just Grow Mambo. You can just call me that. I want to say thank you for tuning in. And I'm asking everybody to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Grow Mambo and subscribe and click the like button on the YouTube channel. YouTube at Grow Mambo Angela. So, when you got up this morning, did you tell everybody in the house you loved them? If you didn't, do it now. All right, was you thankful for getting up this morning? Did you really mention it? If not, do it now. Okay, and another thing. Did you stay in the house to stay safe? If not, say you're sorry. I'm waiting. Okay, don't let it happen again. Stay in the house. Stay safe. Even when they lift this order and they say it's okay to go out, let's see what happens with everybody else. Take your time. Let them all rush out there, go shopping. Let them spend their $1,200 checks. Let them buy TVs and let them buy all the stuff that they think that they could get $1,200 or whatever their money is going to take them. Let them do all of that first and just lay low. And let's watch and see what happens. But I want to say thank you to all of our frontline workers. I ask God to continue to bless them. Thank you for our governors that's working hard to keep us safe. And I want you to pray for them and to pray for our frontline workers. And you know, frontline workers, it's just not doctors and nurses. They are the doctors and the nurses, but they're the technicians and they're the maintenance. They're the ones that clean up. Okay, you get your trash picked up every day. That's a frontline worker too. Your pharmacist, where you get your drugs and your medications from. That's a frontline worker too.
Dana says that she's been waiting to see your live blessings, and she said also airline worker over here too. Thank you.
That's right. They're frontline workers, and you have to pray for all of them. I told you about this first will that came out, and that was the will that was carrying the plague. It was carrying the disease from China all the way straight across. And I told you about how it stretched out, how those points stretched north, south, east, west, northeast, north, south, southwest. It's stretching all those points. And as it crossed the land, the law said that it has to blow out to sea. We talked about that. So as that virus or that plague crosses the land, when it hit water, it do spread into the sea. It's like a dumping area. It dumps. And then it keeps going. And then as it gets to the water again, it dumps. And then when it gets to the land, it just keeps going. But the numbers of the coronavirus, people who are getting the coronavirus and people who are dying from it, those numbers are going up. They're still going up. And it's only going up because it's too much individualism that's going on from one land to the next land. It's not a time for individualism. It's a time for us to know that we are all in this together. And whatever it is that you do is going to affect the next person. Whatever one country do is going to affect the next country. Whatever one city do is going to affect the next city. It's not a time to use the energies that are not good energies that's crossing over our homes, is crossing over our families, is crossing your front doorstep. It's not a time for that. You have too many people that are dying that don't even know that they're dead. We talked about all of this. We talked about spirits, how there's a backup in spirits. We talked about that too. Too many people dying and can't get the right burials. So, you know, you got to look at the leaders of these religions. You got to look at all of the religions. And even with them, it's no time for separation. No time for individualism. Each religion should be talking to the other religion, knowing that their religion, and feeling confident in that. See, I think a lot of conflict comes from one faith to the other because they're not confident. But if you're confident in your own faith, then it don't matter what the next faith is. It don't matter what they believe. Only thing that matters is what you believe in your faith, and you respect what they believe in their faith. But it's a time for all of them to come together if they want this plague to just end. The last time I told you, I saw this will passing, and it looked like it was going to be some normalcy that would hit around November the 1st. Well, the reason why I said November the 1st was because the Loi Bon Criminel came down and started the message really in October, but then came back November the 1st and expounded on it when he talked about how a disease was going to hit our land and that we would see it in January. Well, the disease was already hitting the land in October, November, December of 2019. We just wasn't seeing it yet. And then in January, it just started to hit, and we were seeing it a little bit. And then as the months went by, we started to see it even more. So I thought that it started there in November and it would end in November. But there's a second wheel that's out now. And that second wheel is crossing. And as that second wheel crosses, it is saying to the world that this is not going to be over November the 1st, and it's not going to be normalcy the way that you would be expecting it November the 1st. It's actually going to go all the way to the end of this year and all the way to the end of 2021, excuse me. And you may not start to see any normalcy until 2022. So it's going to take a lot of patience. It's going to take a lot of love. But you got to understand that with the second wheel hitting, and it's a third wheel that's on this way, you're going to have patience. You're going to have compassion. And you're going to have to practice the rules of God or the rules of your faith. You're going to have to listen to another faith. Islam, they pray, 7 times a day or more than that? Well, you have Christians that say, I pray when I'm walking, I pray when I'm in the bathroom, I pray in the closet, I pray in the car. You have some people that say, well, I only pray at night, and then I pray in the morning. Well, whatever that is, we need to learn from one another how to become powerful, to understand that we are all in this together, and it should not be no individualism. Let's breathe. I want you to think about all of that. Think about lifting things off your shoulders. You want to be light. I want you to think about it. Think about what you need to make yourself feel better. Think about it. Think about what you need to make your family feel better. Think about that. Think about what you need to have fresh air. You don't have to go outside to have fresh air. You have fresh air inside your house. You have fresh air inside your life. Fresh air inside your mind. Think about it. And then I want you to breathe. And I'm going to get my wheel, my Agüez wheel. I'm going to get it, and we're going to breathe. We're going to breathe because we are on the ship. And the ship, remember what I told you? The ship is your house. That's your safety. That's your safety ground right now, your house. So I want you to breathe. Breathe in. Breathe again. Let's breathe. Let's breathe. You know, when you're breathing, you got to try to feel. It's a little bit more than just taking in air and letting air out. You want to feel. You want to feel what's around you. You want to feel what's inside you. a feeling that you can't feel inside you because you don't take the time in the day to try to do it. So let's breathe. I'm starting to feel you. Let's breathe. Let's breathe. Okay, you should be feeling that. Feel your inside. Feel your spirit. Feel your energy. Let's breathe. Ha ha. Breathe. Ha ha. Breathe. Ha ha. Let's breathe. Are you feeling me? Are you feeling Grow Mambo? If you feeling me, hit that like button. You feeling me? I'm feeling you. Hit that like button if you feeling me. Let's try it again. Ha ha. Ha ha.
David said she feels the heat.
Yeah, baby, I'm hot. Ha ha. Why you think I got this wheel up here? I'm trying to imagine myself being on a boat with the wind blowing at my face. Oh my God, I can feel it. I can't get on the ship right now because the cruise ships are shut down. But I can sure make myself feel like I am on a boat with air hitting my face. Take a breath. Ha ha. And one more. Ha ha. All right. How'd that feel? Now you know one thing that I told you, make sure you light your incense. If you don't light them every day, that's okay. But you do want to try to light them as much as you can in a week. If you light twice a week, 3 times a week, it all depends on the environment on your house. But you know what? I'm getting phone calls for anger management. I'm getting a whole lot of phone calls for anger management. Where people are looking, Grow Mambo, I need anger management. Now, why do you need anger management? You know, is it because you're in your house and you're in with people, your family, or your close friends that you have not really been shut in with, and now you're starting to know different things about them? Or maybe you're starting to feel bad about different things about them. This is not the time for anger management. This is a time for love, understanding, and peace. That's what this is. So we get our incense going, and we're going to follow these wheels today. This third wheel that's coming across, or this second wheel that's coming across, this one is speaking from destiny, and it's talking about the land. She gave this message, and in the message she was telling me about a pot of food. And she was showing me a big pot of food that had so much food in it. It was thick. It had a lot of meat in it. It had a lot of beans in it. It had a lot of gravy in it. It had so much in this pot that it was rich, where you could get vitamins and energy, and you could get healings from this pot. But then she told me what was going to happen to this pot because of the decisions that the people are making with the land. She talked about how the pot was going to go thin, and how it's not going to be as big or thick or filling as she showed it. She talked about how the wheel that is coming across is now addressing the land, whereas the first one is addressing the plague that's coming across. But the plague is going to spill these different things out of it. And one thing that spilled out of it was another wheel that talked about the destiny of the land. That force or that dominion of the land is agriculture. It's the earth. It's the food that grows in the earth. It's the trees that grows in the earth. It's the flowers that grows. It's the flowers that grows in the earth. That's what that is talking about. So when you look at this, and she talks about how the pot is not going to be full, and it's all surrounding the decisions of what mankind is going to make. And from that come famine. All off of the decisions. It don't have to go that way. The pot don't have to go thin. And people don't have to go hungry. People don't have to be worrying about where the next meal is going to come from. It's all off of the choices of who controls the land. So when you look at who's controlling the land physically, you're looking at the farmers. You're looking at the government, who are saying what the farmers could grow, what they cannot grow. You're looking at the owners of the lands, the owners of the factories, whether it's a meat factory or whether it is a milk factory or eggs. It's the choices that they are going to make, which is going to anger that force as it crossed the land. That force talked about how the animals, it would be a problem with animals. If it's a problem with animals, then that's a problem with the food that the animals are going to eat. It's going to be a problem with humans. A problem with the food that the humans are going to eat. Talking about the eggs, talking about the chickens, talking about the beef, talking about fresh vegetables growing. But when I looked at this message, and I was like, well, we have Idaho potatoes here. But when I looked, China is involved in the first wheel that's coming across. They are the #1 growers of potatoes. #1 growers of carrots. All these things that we so easily go to the market and buy potatoes and buy carrots. They're #1. Who grows it? China, Italy, Ukraine. They're #1. So if they got hit the hardest with this virus, and it started over there in China, then that means during the shutdown, then it had to be a lot of decay. Fresh potatoes that could not be picked because the people were shut in because of the virus was killing people. People were getting sick. Carrots decaying. So what's going to happen is going to be a shortage of potatoes, a shortage of carrots. All these things that those countries that are caught within that first wheel with the highest plague coming across of this coronavirus, we are going to see the short end of it in the United States. It's the choices that our farmers is going to make. You know what? We need to pray for our farmers. I want everybody to pray for the farmers. Pray for the owners of the milk factories. Pray for the owners of the meat factories. Pray for them that they make the right choice so that the land don't suffer. The land has suffered enough. Then you have, from the land, you have insects. So you have mosquitoes, you have spiders, you have bees that comes across. They go down into the flowers. They go into their beehives. They fly off. But when you look at that, that's in another dominion. So you have the bees that's in another dominion. The bees belong in the dominion of love. That powerful force of love. But now you have a different type of bee that's coming out that's crossing within the second wheel. And you not only have that, you have the bees, and then you have the locusts. All of this coming across in the second wheel. So you have the locust that's in Africa, that's killing the trees, that's eating all the leaves, it's killing the mangoes, it's killing all of the fruits and the vegetables. And then they die off, and then a new wave come in, and they're bigger, they're better, they're stronger, and they just keep killing off. But let's talk about the bees for a minute. The bees is ruled by the power of love. Honey is sweet. And we could look at honey to turn anything bitter sweet. And if you put it in the spirit, you will say, Father, God, Ayami, Ifa, Gade, Bonjeriva, whatever you want to call them. Sweeten my life with honey. Make things sweet for me so it's not so bitter. But let's talk about the killer bees that's out. That's not the power of love. But the killer bees is killing the bees that are the power of love. Now let's take that over in the physical. You have more arguments, more fights. You have a lack of care, a lack of understanding, a lack of looking for true love. You have problems there. That's the energy. That's the two energies that are going to be fighting. So what am I saying to you? Hold on to love. Don't let that energy come into your house or into your life. Don't let it get between you and your family, you and your children, and you and your friends. That's a combating family. Some people will say, oh, it's the devil. Some people will say, devil, get ye behind me. They say all kinds of stuff. Some people will say, oh, that's the diabolical. Some people have all kinds of names for it. Use whatever name that make you feel good. But don't allow it to come into your life, because the energy is there. The energy is to kill love. Let's look at what's going on. Our governors are loving their people, trying to keep them safe. But then you have a negative energy that's driving people to go against the governors who are trying to keep the people safe. That's the killer bee, and that's the honeybee. Our governors are the honeybees. And anybody that's out there that's stopping the frontline workers from going to work, and that's blocking up the streets or blocking up, hollering and screaming, we want to go back to work and all these different things, that's the killer bee. That's what that energy is. And I'm asking you not to be a part of that. Let me read some of my notes. How you feeling? You feeling okay? Do you need to breathe right now? Are you following me? Yep, you're following me? All right, I want you to take a minute, and I want you to look at these two wheels that's going by. Angela is our technician here, and Angela is the one that does our animation for us. And go to her website. Angela, give them your website.
It's BamKittyIllustrations.com.
Yes! Go to her website and anything that you might need there. And then we also have Paquesa that does all of this Facebook stuff and does all this Instagram stuff along her and Esprit. I thank you. So I want you to take a look at this. This first wheel coming across is the very first one that's carrying the plague. But now you got this one that's coming across. That's the one that is the one for the land. That's talking about the destiny of the land and how the destiny of the land is going to be changed. That means that the way that things were grown prior is not going to be grown the same way. the way that things were plentiful. And if you look at it, you'll see, pause it for a minute. If you look at it, you'll see that this is coming right through Washington, D.C., right through Virginia, and it's crossing straight across Nebraska, Denver. You understand? Iowa is passing through. And when you see it passing through, you can bet that there are going to be problems with water, filtration. There's going to be problems there, whether it's filtration of water in underground springs, or whether it's filtration of water from the water department, city water, well water. You're going to have problems with that coming across. Problems with the land, with the food being grown. Problems with our potatoes not being as plentiful. There's no reason why it should be cars lined up for food banks when farmers are making the decision to just spill the milk on the ground or just kill the chickens for fertilizing. Killing the chickens for fertilizing is a great sin, and it should be a sin in every religion, because the life of a chicken should not be taken unless you are going to take it to feed your family. No animal is supposed to die before its time. It's here for food. And we eat chicken, we eat beef, we eat pork, we eat fish. But it should be taken as we are respectful to the land. So right there, the farmers that make the choices to do that, I'm telling you, farmers, you are cursing the land. Farmers who make the decision to just take the milk and turn it out on the ground, you're cursing the land. Farmers who are making decisions to take the eggs and just crush it up in the ground, you're cursing the land. One thing you could do, farmers, is charity. Make your place a food bank. Let the people come to you instead of turning it out on the ground. Let them come to you and let them take their own milk with social distancing. Instead of killing the chickens, let the people have it so they can feed their families. It don't have to go that way. It don't have to be people in food bank lines like that. It's plentiful, but you are denying the people of it. And that is what's going to curse the land. It's a thing called charity. It's a thing called giving. And the farmers, you've got to make the right decision for the land to survive. As it crosses, you can let it go. And it comes straight across, and it's going to go right through Denver, right through Salt Lake City, Carson City. It's going to go all the way to California, San Francisco. But it has to be a unification of choices that the leaders, and when I say leaders this time, I'm talking about the farmers. The choices that you make for the people. The number one growers for potatoes and for broccoli and carrots is Spain, Ukraine, China, and Italy. Those are your number one growers, and they got hit very hard with the coronavirus. I did talk about the shortage of animals, the shortage of food. I did talk about that. The first power or the second power is going to spill right into that. Let me tell you something else. You can read how you think you should make a decision. But whatever decision that you make, it has to move through those two powers. If you're not understanding those two powers, then you're just going to make a decision that you might be thinking is for the better good, but it's not going to be for the better good. Only because you're not understanding the positioning of the first wheel coming across and the second wheel, which is the power of destiny. How you feeling? Let's breathe. Let's breathe, everybody. Just think about that wind. Here we go. I'm going to get my wheel, and we're going to breathe. Yes. And let's breathe. Come on, Akasi, you could do better than that. Let's breathe. See, I'm picking up on different ones that they really could breathe better than that. Come on. Let me feel you. Take a deep one. Take one more. Let's breathe. Let's breathe. Ha ha. Ha ha. Let's breathe. Ha ha. Let's breathe. Ha ha. All right. I'm feeling you. That felt great. That felt great. Can you imagine that? As much as I eat potatoes, I need to stop eating them for a while. Especially now since I know they're coming out of China. Gotta let them get themselves together over there. They need help too. They talked about the filtration system. I told you about that. How it's going to be watered down. Whether it's a filtration system that runs through the land or whether it's one that runs through your water department. They talked about problems there. We need to pray for the land. And I think what we need to do is value the land. Everything that we do with the land. Because that next wheel that's coming through is going to shake the earth. And when it shakes the earth, that means earthquakes. That means volcanoes that hadn't erupted in years is going to erupt. That means hard shaking of the ground is what that means. So that means tornadoes. And from that you get tsunamis. That's that third wheel that's coming. And the farmers can make the choice on what they do that we don't see that. And if we see that, it won't be as harsh as I'm seeing it right now. We really need to pray for the farmers. They have a lot of burdens on their shoulders, and I know that they need money just like the people need money who's trying to go back to work. I understand all of that on how you want to go back to work and how you want to start making money to feed your family. But one hand could give. The other hand could give too. And the farmers could help relieve that burden off of families by just simply opening up their places, opening up their factories, opening up their farms. Let the people come in and pick it themselves. You don't have to turn it into the ground. Let the people come in and fill their own milk jugs. Let the people come in and gather up their own eggs. There's so many ways that you can help the people. There's so many ways that you could become a food bank. And those things will be charity. And charity will be seen as a blessing. And then our land won't get cursed. We'll start to live a blessing that could turn things around for the land and the destiny of the land. Okay.
Diana said, I completely agree. Or just selling the food directly to the public, we would be glad to.
They don't even have to sell it directly to the public, because what they're doing is they're just destroying it. They're just taking the milk and just dumping it out. It's like a river of milk that's flowing. They don't even have to sell it. All they need is social distances for cars to pull up and fill their milk jugs themselves. All they need to do is go to where they have the fruits and the vegetables in the land that's ready for harvest. But because they can't harvest it because people are sick and the social distances, let the people come and take it themselves. It'll take a little bit longer, but a lot more people will be blessed. And the more you bless people, farmers, you're going to bless the land. But if you show waste and carelessness, then you curse the land. Look into your faith. Look into your belief. You're going to find what I'm telling you is true.
Mambo, some people are new coming in. Could you talk to them about the bees, the pollen, and love again?
Yes, for those that just coming in, follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Grow Mambo. And subscribe and click the like button at the YouTube channel for Grow Mambo Angela. Hit it, like, hit it. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the bees. For those of you who are just coming in, the bees is in the dominion of love. You could say that they're within the power of love. That's the bees. Honey is sweetness. If you have honey and milk, we all know that's sweetness. That goes back years, honey and milk. So many people will pray to ask God to give them a little bit of sweetness in their life. Pour some honey in my life. Let's not let things be so bitter in my life. Let it be sweet for me. That's the honey. And then what creates the honey? The bees, they make the honey. God created the bees for the bees to make the honey so that the people can have a sweetness. That's what happened. And then from that, we pray to God who created the bees that make the honey that gives us sweetness. That's a power. But now you have another power that got launched within the second wheel that's coming across, which is part of the destiny changing of the land. The destiny of the bee is changed because the bee don't attack, the bee don't kill. The bee bring honey and sweetness, and it pollinates the earth, the land. But you got the killer bee that's coming across now. And the killer bee is going after the honeybees, killing the honeybees. Now that's what's happened in the physical. If you take the bees to the spiritual, you have an energy that want to kill love, an energy that don't want peace. An energy for no reason at all that just wants to attack anything that could bring sweetness. That's the energy. That's the force. We all know there's a good force and there's a bad force. Well, you got the good force and the bad force. The good force is the honeybee. The bad force is the killer bee. So what do that mean for you? You can find yourself, if you're not aware of this energy that's passing, and if you're not aware of this type of energy that can come into your house, you can find yourself less loving. You can find yourself fighting in your family, fighting in your house, fighting with your friends for no reason. And when you look back on it, it'd be ridiculous the reason that you fought over, or the reason that you were so upset. That's the energy. That energy is designed to kill peace. Let's go back into our politics for a minute. The governors are the bees. They are the ones that are trying to bring honey to the people. They are the ones that are trying to save the people. They are the ones that love the people enough that they have to make these hard choices of stay at home and stay safe. They are the ones that have to make those choices. But then you got the killer bees that's coming out. Those are the ones that says, I'm not wearing a mask. It's a hoax. I don't want that. Open the city up. Who you think you are to tell us to stay home? Those are the killer bees. So while you got the honeybees, which is the governor, and the people who are staying at home, the people who are respecting what the governor is saying and respecting everything that they see around them, you got the killer bees that don't care about nothing. And then here they come. Those are your killer bees. And you can say, Grandmama said it. Your governor and everybody that's following the stay-at-home order, those are the honeybees. And everybody else that's fighting against the stay-at-home, fighting against wearing a mask, blocking our workers from getting to the hospital to service people, working to block the doctors and nurses from servicing people, from going to the hospital when people are dying by the minute. Those are the killer bees. You're killing. And you don't care that you're killing. You don't care how many people in that hospital die while you're out there hollering, block up the roads, block up the streets. Those are the killer bees, people. Let me have a question here. Hit that like button.
Michaela asked, in case the farmers don't make the best choices, what is the best thing we or I can do to produce and eating certain foods that I can store up on?
The main thing that you could store up on is staples or canned goods, dry goods. You could really store up a lot on that. But when it comes to meats, it's going to get scarce because of the way that the farmers have made decisions to kill the chickens and make it fertilizers. Or that I heard that they took the pigs, that, and I don't know how true it is, but I heard that they took all the pregnant pigs, and gave them medication or pills. They gave them that to kill all their piglets. So they aborted all of their babies. So it's going to be a shortage of pork. There will be a shortage in beef because of the things that the farmers are making the decisions. The only thing we could do is pray for them, and maybe if we all pray enough, maybe their minds might become soft that they hear God speaking to them. But for you to protect yourself, then what you should do is you should store up, which is what I did. I stored up on all the staples that I could get. Because you know, here at the Hummelford, there's a lot of us. We're a large family here, and we're all shut in together. And we have to all make sure that we're honeybees up in here. because we are locked up in here around the clock. And trust me, we had our little issues going on too. Like, who forgot to wash the bathroom down? Oh, I'm sorry, I'll do it. You know, who forgot to wash the dishes? You left your dish in the sink. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll get my dish. You know, so we have little issues like that too, but it's not enough to become a killer bee. It's not enough to do that. So you stock up on all your dry goods, and if you have a deep freezer, then you can stack up on meats and then put it in your freezer. But the way that you value it from where it comes from the land is you don't be wasteful in the way that you cook it. You have to think of a new way to cook it. A new way where you would use less meat to go further. So instead, if you have a family of 4, instead of giving everybody a steak, you might want to take a steak or 2 steaks and cut it down and then make pepper steak. You might want to do something like that. Instead of taking a whole steak and then give everybody a whole steak. There's different things like that you could do for you and your family. She okay?
Mm-hmm. She put the thumbs up.
Okay.
Vicky started cracking up when you talked about how we're honeybees over here and how many people we got now before.
Yeah, Vicky, you know. You know, we have to make sure everybody in here stay honeybee because everybody have their negatives and their positives. You'd be lying if you say you don't have no negatives. Everybody got something negative about themselves and everybody got something positive about themselves. Well, it's a time for us to help whatever the negativities are about ourselves. So if you're going to go in the kitchen and you know one of the things that you do is you will go crazy in the kitchen and then leave it dirty, then, you know, somebody else come along, be understanding that that's a negativity of the person. Don't take the dish and knock them in the head, you know. Don't get pissed off with them and now start to threaten them because they didn't wash their dish. That's the killer bee coming in there. That's that energy making you into a killer bee. Because you know what you're going to do? You're going to bite their head off. And then later on you might be sorry you bit their head off. So you don't want to become a killer bee.
We have a few comments. Vicky said, true. Mia said, I'm loving the hair. Hey, love.
Ah, thank you. You know, Destiny started it out and Angela styled it. She styled it for me, so it's a new style for me. Thank you.
And then you have another question. Michaela says, last question, how do you keep the love or become aware when aggravations become misplaced?
See, knowledge is power. And once you get knowledge, that's power. You're powerless when you don't have the knowledge. So if you have the knowledge of the difference between the killer bee and what's going on with the honeybee, that's knowledge. And the knowledge is supposed to become your power source on how you handle anything. You should never hear something and then still try to figure it out. Because you already got the answer. You just got to be powerful enough to walk it. You got to be powerful enough to own it. Powerful enough to stand in it. Y'all got me? You know, if you know that there's a power of love that is dictating the honeybee that's going to make things sweet for you. You know this. All right, that's power right there to know it. But you also know that there's a power that's going to bring the killer bee. You don't turn and run, nor do you accept it, nor do you welcome it. You become powerful in the knowledge that you have. And that knowledge gives you patience. It gives you understanding. And it gives you the words that I have is, okay. Those are my words. So when things start going real crazy, I go, okay. So if somebody go, grow bubble, I let them go off and do whatever they're going to do. And then I go, okay. Even if it's some craziness that they're trying to pick a fight with, you know what I say? Well, if that make you feel good and you believe that, then go ahead on and believe it and feel good about it. You don't have to fight with me. I don't have to try to change your mind. I'm not here to change your mind. Just believe it, child. Believe it. Go on. And then you know what you do? Breathe. That's what you do. I'm trying to tell y'all how to address this stuff. But see, y'all get in it. You got to go, come on. You got to go like that. Or worse. Let me tell you. You do that. But what I'm trying to tell you, you don't have to do this. And you don't have to do that. And you don't have to do this. And you don't have to do that talk to the hand. All you got to do is stand in that knowledge. Stand in that power, because they can't knock you down. And that's what they want to do, is knock you down. And then you say, if you feel good believing that, then go ahead on and believe it. I'm not here to change your mind. Believe it. Feel good. And you know what you do? Snap your hand, baby. Breathe and let them simmer. That's what you do. When you look at what's going on with the people out here, you got to do the same thing with them. When you see the crazies out there honking the horns and stuff like that, you look at them and you go, okay, since you're out there like that, and you want to honk your horn, and you want to wave your red hat for Trump, and you want to wave your flag and all this you want to do, then when you catch corona, stay home. You don't have to go to the hospital, girl. Just stay home, breathe. Or follow what Trump said. Take some Lysol. It'll be all right.
Michaela said, I love you. She said, I hear you. I hear you. Be mindful and be strong.
Yeah.
Vicky said, she said, have a mental funeral.
Yes.
That's a good one.
That's what you do. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Chris said, even the cat agrees.
Your,
Chris,
your cat.
your cat just ran across.
You know, I was in an environment, I'm not going to say where I was at, but in there was a Trump supporter. And they turned the TV to Fox Channel and had it all going. And they was like, yes, Trump this, Trump that, Trump. Oh, they was loving it. And I really think that they were doing it because we were there and we were black. And they were there and they were white and they had their red hats on and they were all of that. So I was like, wow. Those are killer bees over there. And they're trying to take my honey. That's the way I looked at that. So then I had to say something. I did lose it a little bit, but I lost it in a nice way. I said, you know what? The Trump supporters, they love Trump. How many children do they have? I said it like that. I know they love their children, but what they need to do is take their little children and lock them up in cages. Because if that's okay with them, to see Trump put children in cages, then what's good for other people's children is good for theirs. They should just put them in a cage. Then all of that stopped. You got a question over there?
Tiana says, how can we bring life back to the land? I'm a gardener, but I want to cultivate life and love.
See, when you're doing your own gardening and you're doing your own land, when you're doing that, you just put your love and you put everything about your spirit into the land. You know, while we're going through this, it's going to be problems, but God do hear our individual prayer. The more knowledge you have, the more you put yourself in a good light of humility, a good light of respect. For you to be out there to do your own land, that means you got respect for your own land and what you want to grow. I got something new that I'm going to try. Can you show me that thing right there? Yeah, I'm going to try this. I just got it. It was a gift to me. Mia gave it to me. And I'm going to try this. I'm going to try to grow some herbs in this, so that I could see if I could grow healing herbs. Herbs that's going to help with blood pressure, things that's going to help with the blood pressure and sugar, to try to keep the sugar down. I'm going to do things like that to grow it. So this is what I'm going to work with. I don't have a big land. I'm in a row house. I do have a Pocono house that have 4 acres of land, but I can't get there because I'm here. But I'm going to grow this. I'm going to use this. And I'm going to see what I could do to grow things in it that's going to help with the health. And you could do things like that too. You might want to grow basil and peppermint. You might want to add that to your garden. Because peppermint and basil, when you take that and you scrub it together and you make a green water, you can bath yourself with that. Here, you can take this. Thank you. You might want to add that to your gardening. For those that just tuned in, follow me on Facebook at Grow Mambo and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Grow Mambo Antula. And don't forget to hit the like button. I'm getting thumbs up. Hit the like button. You know, click, click. Don't forget to click it. Don't forget to click it.
She said definitely.
Yes.
Michaela said, I wish I had a backyard. I just have concrete out back.
Oh, well, you could get one of those arrow gardening things. It's probably going to bring me some peace in my spirit for what I see that goes on out here. You don't understand. When you have sight and you read and you see things, and I was born like this. I didn't just get this when I became a mambo. I was born like this. I was always seeing things. And when you see things like that, you need a break. Sometimes you look at it and sometimes you think it's a curse. Sometimes you look at it and sometimes you think it's a blessing. Either way you look at it, it don't always feel like a blessing. It don't always feel like a curse. But it is something that I just can't explain to you how it feels. But when I looked at this thing, I actually went secluded in my bedroom for days. I didn't come out because it scared me so badly. Because I really thought that it would be done where we would have some type of normalcy in November. And then the other thing that I had saw that I didn't talk about is it may be an opening, a clear opening that might happen in August, from August to October. And it's possible that it could be from July to August, September, somewhere in there. But when you look at it, the normalcy is not going to come to 2022. So when I look at that, and I can't see no ending in 2020, I'm looking for an ending and I can't see it. And I go, oh God, please help me. Let me see it. And then when I go into the next year, I don't see it either. That tells me it's going to go all the way into the next year. It tells me that people are not going to work together. And people don't understand that we are all in this together. So the only thing I could do is guide you the best way I can, where you can be able to take care of yourself and your family, and you could weather the storm, this long storm.
You have 10 seconds left on Instagram.
Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Grow Mambo. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Grow Mambo Antula. And don't forget to hit the click button. Don't forget to hit it.
It just turned on.
One just turned on.
I want you to stay healthy. Try to eat root foods now while you can get it. You want to eat like rutabaga, you want to eat that, you want to eat beets, you want to eat ginger, things like that that are root food while it's available. Because once they start turning the soil, they're going to destroy all of that. So those are things that would help with blood cleansing, help keep you calm. It would help you with your pressure. It would even help you with diabetes if you have that, help clear up the blood. The cloves would help you with that. But you want to do things like that to try to help yourself.
Okay.
All right. Everybody feeling me, and I'm feeling everybody. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to keep in mind of everything that has been said to you. I really pray for your families, and I pray for you. I thank you for following me. It do make me feel good. It do make me feel appreciated. Because when you see things, sometimes the messenger gets shot. And I thank you for not shooting me when I come with the message. But I pray for your household. And I pray for your family and your stability. And I pray that you have a happy space and that it not be disturbed. I pray that you use the power of the honeybees and not allow yourself to be attacked by the killer bees. I pray that you have strength to stand. Say no when you need to say no, and say yes when you know you should say yes. I pray that you have calmness in your spirit. And I pray that you have patience, because you're going to need a lot of it to make it through this. Patience with yourself and patience with one another. Keep using your incense. Use it as much as you can within a week. Keep your environment clean. Throw Florida water on your pack outside your door, that's hanging at your door, to keep it clean in your house. And anything you need, just give me a call. Call me at 215-276-3633. God bless you.
Okay. And Dana says, thank you for being so savvy and spiritual in these times.
Well, thank you very much. I thank you. Did you hit that click button? Thank you so much.
All right.
Everybody be safe. And one more thing, when they start running out there, you watch them. Stay back, watch. Let's see what happens to them. Be safe. And stay healthy.
All right.